Craig Williams and from my squad, and Ed Edmondson were killed. Um, so prior to that, we got one of the, and I can't, a date I don't know, but I can kind of gauge sometime in mid-February. We had an attack come on us in the middle of the night. We'd set up and
That was 23rd of February.
yeah.
Did y'all go into, is that when y'all went into the Ashaw Valley? No?
You know, no, that was when our initial introduction to the Benoit area.
Okay, yeah.
Because we'd come out of the Ashaw, like I said before, that's when the Viet Cong snipers were hitting us on a daily
Yeah,
basis,
gotcha.
but not doing a whole heck of a
Yeah.
lot of damage.
Yeah.
But by February, we had moved down. See, the whole objective for that Tet offensive in '69 was to avoid what happened in '68,
Yeah.
which was they amassed around our areas, our headquarters areas, and then threw human wave attacks at us. And '68 is the year that we lost the most Americans in Vietnam because of that. But our objective was to stop them in the field before they ever got there in '69. So we were out there hitting heavy on the trails that they were using to resupply and to bring their NVA in. So they hit us. You know, it was a kind of casual day, and I mean, we set up that night, and my squad was out on listening post. So, listening post, you dig a foxhole, but you abandon it, and you go out in front of the company maybe 50 meters, and you are out there with a radio, and you're laying on the ground and playing. You're at least two guys alert at all times, and I think it probably got to be maybe 10 o'clock at night, and all of a sudden the mortars start coming in and laying in our position where we were, maybe another 50 meters in front of us. We could actually see the mortar position that was firing on us. But now we got the issue that we're sandwiched between
Yeah.
Alpha Company with all of their firepower and these guys out there, and we don't dare open fire on them, because if we do, somebody back behind us, which is our own guys, are going to start opening fire, and then we're SOL at that point. So we managed to scoot back without getting anybody hurt, but that mortar attack just raised hell with us. I mean, they were dead on with it. So I think we answered with the artillery, and the artillery drove them back. Well, that battle we fought for 3 days. I mean, back and forth. So we had hit, what we'd hit is a main supply unit coming down, and they just didn't want to, they couldn't give up what they were carrying, so they were fighting, they were sending a fighting force in to hold us off while they got whatever they had out of there. Third day of the whole attack, and I was carrying your M79 grenade launcher at the time.
Yeah?
So a guy with an M79 grenade launcher also has the privilege of carrying a 45,
Yeah.
a 1911, which accuracy-wise, if you hit that wall from here, unless you had a match pistol, which they use for shooting target matches, you might hit that wall from here.
But it knocked them all down.
Yeah, but it would
Knock the wall
do a
down.
lot of damage to the wall. But
Huh?
so here we are, Genghis Glaze, which was the company commander at the time, and I showed Mark a letter that I wrote to Dad about the quality of man he was. Decided we were going to attack it. We were going to rush that bunker complex. So we did, and I started out thinking everybody was with me, and I glanced to the left, and there was nobody there, and I'm carrying an M79, remember? And I glanced to the right, and coming up behind me is Genghis and nobody else. And I said, I better slow this down a little bit, because I'm pretty much defenseless against these guys. So, but we managed to get to their front position, and they kept us pinned down there for a couple hours, and then we fell back. But that's the one that keeps me awake at night. And it's the one that why it keeps me awake is just that being sandwiched between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
So
I finally quit putting out listening.
duck down again. Of course, we get answering fire, and then they popped up and pop again with the 45 and duck down, and this time I kind of stayed down because they were timing. They were getting the timing down to a science and my location down to a science, and they were waiting for me to do the pop, the rhythm, and they went pop again, and poked my head up just far enough to see, and all of the bamboo that was in front of me was cut right down, and I said, I'm staying in this hole, not jumping up again.
Huh?
So, and no, we ended up, we fought them for a while, and then everything went silent, and we backed off, and they came up with some number of how many that we killed, and I know. And somebody mentioned a Lieutenant Wright.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, when was he there?
He got
He-
shot.
He came in after I did, I think.
He
Oh,
got
okay.
shot before Christmas, I think. Of
There was,
70.
there was
Somewhere he was.
That was yeah. We were out, and that's when I got hit too.
our platoon leader at the time.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me refresh your memories. I forgot. At the time, his daddy was the commanding general at Fort Benning, Georgia.
No, he was he was the 101st commanding general in Vietnam.
Well, but at one point
He may have
the
been, but he was-
commanding general
But he was
at Fort Benning.
yeah.
He came into our company. Was he in any one of your platoons?
Well, he was platoon leader of second platoon. I was personally.
Okay.
Okay.
So
all right.
I got-
All right. No.
I got a picture
second,
of him up
second platoon.
I think it was second.
All right. Let me
platoon.
tell you. I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened. I'd forgotten about that. His platoon sergeant came up to me, and he said, "Cotton, this motherfucker's gonna get us all killed, and we're gonna kill him." I don't remember who platoon sergeant was. I said, "No, you're not. You're gonna wait till the next firefight, and you're gonna shoot him in the fleshy part." I tried to get rid of him, and I couldn't get rid of him because his daddy was a 3-star general.
His machine gunner took care of it.
Hell yes. Next
Shot him in
fire,
the ass.
next firefight, we didn't give him the ass, but he got him in the
No, it
thigh.
wasn't no firefight.
And that's exactly what
Yeah,
happened.
what?
Let me tell you.
That's
Wright
exactly
had-
what happened.
Wright he had a machine gunner that wasn't really balanced. And he decided to shoot himself in the foot with a freaking M6.
Oh,
He didn't break a single bone, kind of skirted the toes. They sent the guy to the rear. Damn if they didn't send him back out about a week later. And what does Wright do? Give him the machine gun. We started moving that morning, and I mean within 30 minutes of moving, you heard a machine, bam! He shot Lieutenant Wright in the ass, right in the butt.
Yeah,
They sent them both out, never heard from them.
exactly.
Now,
That's exactly what
I
happened.
spoke to Lieutenant Wright the other day.
Oh,
And
did
when I'm
you?
doing this thing, I got
Yeah.
his contact info, but he was shot in the ass by his own machine gunner, but the guy something was wrong with the gunner. I mean, he had tried, who the hell shoots himself in the foot with an M60?
Well, your platoon sergeant came to me and said he was gonna kill Wright. He did.
I was in first platoon, so he wasn't my platoon.
Okay, and I said, no,
But
don't kill
It
him.
was a life being needlessly wasted for some freaking reason that we didn't understand.
Well, Dan, how do you think it feels for me and I've heard this in pieces, but you guys really validate that my father was an excellent man and soldier because of the way he either led you or took care of you. And that's one of the most important things I'll walk away from here. So thank you for that gift.
And they could
Well,
li-
let me say something. I don't know your father, but there's nothing else, sir. What else do leaders do? What else does a non-commissioned officer do? What else does an officer do?
Yeah.
That- That's the definition.
Yep.
Yes.
That's
Or
why I
just like
said earlier,
My wife
part of my
asked me,
sense
why are
of
you
pride
coming to this if you don't want to
was
come?
nobody was hurt on my watch.
You, do what you gotta do
tough
to
to
take
say.
care of your boys. That's, whether your boys understand that or not. But anyway,
Yeah, thank
okay,
you.
where are we? Tim, I think you're about on.
All right,
Let
you
me
want-
jump-
No, that's right, we still got this,
Well, I just want to
still
jump,
got this saga going.
Yeah.
let me just jump in on the machine gunner. I presume this is the same guy. A fellow, you know, the M60 machine gunners with heavy weapons, so they would tend to rest it on their toe of their boot when they were standing around in between humping. And
Keep it out of the mud.
keep it out of the mud. And this is the same fellow, I think. We heard bap, 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 and he had shot 3 rounds, and they had gone pretty much between his toes, which was not what he had designed. He left, and then he came back before too long, and then we heard bop, bop. And then, so he was quicker on the trigger, but he had moved it up to the arch of his foot. And so he wasn't going to come back without his foot or the arch all comminuted. And so I gave him morphine, and as he is flying out of with the helicopter out the door, he does this, he clicks his heels together and smiles because he's headed back to the United States.
Yeah.
He had his ticket to go home.
Yeah.
But maybe he shot the guy in the hiney.
Well, that's when Wright was shot, and saying, keep in mind, within the company, like different platoons, it would come back to us as what happened.
Yeah.
So it wasn't in my platoon, but they said, shit, this crazy bastard shot Lieutenant Wright. And it was always in the ass, which was, that was considered maybe even worse, you know? Sorry, Stuart.
And I've heard more wrong stories about my incident today.
But
Get the
nobody,
spotlight off your ass.
nobody was shooting you though. Somebody didn't shoot you in your leg or something, right?
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, a friendly.
an enemy.
he was NBA, he was out there in the booth now, so.
Let's take a potty break, folks.
Okay.